hard time on whether I should review Sophie or Triangle Strategy. But I thought of a great plan. I'm going to use the scales of conviction, and that will illuminate my path. So please, scales, what do you say? Triangle Strategy it is! Today we're going to do a worth the buy for Triangle Strategy. So with all that being said, let's get into the video. Triangle Strategy was announced on February 17, 2021, and it released on March 4th, 2022. Made by Team Osano, who brought us Octopath Traveler, which is my personal favorite. Their latest entry, Triangle Strategy, is a tactical RPG akin to Final Fantasy Tactics, with the same beautiful HD 2D style graphics like Octopath Traveler. So when they announced it, I was like, yay, yay, yay. It looked awesome, beautiful. I love the mechanics. I love tactical RPGs too. So Triangle Strategy was one of my most anticipated games of 2022. Now, did it live up to my expectations? We'll see soon.
I hope I did not disappoint.
Now, onto the story, and arguably the biggest part of this game. Now, I'm going to give you a summary of it. I'm not going to go into spoilers, and then at the end I'm going to tell you my opinion and what I thought about the story. So, the story takes place on a continent called Norzelia, and this continent has 3 major kingdoms. One of them is the Kingdom of Glenbrook, which is your medieval Knights of the Round Table kind of people. And then we got Astroth, which is your Castlevania looking type of people, and they live in the north where it's snowy. And then you have the nation of Hyacinth, which I could best describe it as the Vatican City in Arabian Nights kind of vibe, which is pretty cool, honestly. Hi guys, it's Editing Mandy, and I forgot something very important about the story, because not only do we have 3 nations, we also have the 3 high houses. Now the 3 high houses are House Tellier, House Wolfort, and House Flanks. And they all have a lord of the house. So at the start of the game, all the nations are trying to broker peace because they just got over the Salt Iron War, a war on salt. I know. And in the continent of Norzelia, salt is very, very important, so I guess you could say they got salty about it. So we meet our protag, Serenoa, which is my favorite character. He is the up-and-coming Lord of House Wolfort, and Serenoa is on his way to pick up his bride, and that is Federica. Now, Federica is the half-sister of the Archduke of Osfrost. Then we have Roland, the middle child of the King of Glenbrook. Now, he's very laid-back kind of guy because he's not inheriting the throne or anything. Also, Serenoa and Roland are very, very good friends. Long story short, the peace did not last. I know, surprise Pikachu face. And that brings us into the start of the game where your choices are tested and you must use the scales of conviction to forge a new path. Alright, for being one of my most anticipated games of 2022, I was really, really disappointed with the story. It was very cliche, lackluster, the side characters were boring, well, most of them, and I just didn't really feel invested into the world. And another aspect of the story is the pacing. The pacing is very, very slow. After you do a battle, you get a bunch of dialogue. Like, a bunch. Thank God most of these lines are voice acted in English, so thank you for that. So the pacing really slows it down, and combine that with the boringness and the characters, it wasn't a very fun story for me or interesting. Now there are some points which I liked, especially during the end, but other than that, it was just very boring. And I hate to say that because I'm a huge story person. So if the story was good and it had all that dialogue, I'll be eating it up like soup or something. I like the dynamics between Serenoa and the main crew, Roland, Federica, and Benedict. Those were, somewhat interesting. The side characters are the ones I mostly have the problems with. Now, a while ago, I complained that this case looks very, very boring for such a epic game that I was gonna play. But little did I know, the case is boring for a reason. But there is some saving grace to this game, and that is in the gameplay. So that's what we're gonna go over now.
I promise to do all in my power to see us through this safely.
So Triangle Strategy is a tactical RPG, and I love tactical games. I love Fire Emblem, Valkyria Chronicles, Mario and Rabbids. I love tactical RPGs. So this one was definitely in my radar just because it's a tactical RPG. And like any other typical strategy RPG, turns are determined by how fast you are. And you can actually see how fast your character is because there's a timeline in the bottom. So Triangle Strategy does not have a weapon triangle, which is very ironic seeing as it's called Triangle Strategy, but whatever. But not having a weapon triangle makes it where you're more reliant on the character stats and upgrades. So unlike Fire Emblem, where you have more freedom in how you customize your characters, like the classes or what they're good at, Triangle Strategy keeps your characters in the same class archetype. So for example, if a character starts off as a mage, they will end as a mage, and there's little room for new moves or, customization with your units. Now, at first, I really disliked it, but for the lack of customization, it adds a lot of strategy and strategicness into who you want in your party, who do you want to choose for battle. There isn't any permadeath either, so that's pretty cool. But on the downside, I kind of wanted to experiment with different classes and types with different units. Like I wanted a mage knight or something like that, something unique. But it really stuck to the basics of it, which is okay. But I much rather prefer the Fire Emblem kind of method where you could tweak your units to your desire or whatever you want to do. The next part I'm going to talk about is something I really disliked, and it really goes back to the pacing of the game, and that is these walk segments and you talk to the villagers. Some of them you have to investigate, yeah, but most of them is just like talking to the villagers, or what I like to call, they're just showing off the pretty graphics. So they make you walk around and, look at it, which I can appreciate the graphics, but man, those segments really dragged on. You could end them early, but you kind of want to just in case there's a secret something, especially this one chapter. So I don't know why they put these segments in there. They weren't really needed. It really bogs the pace of the game even further and made it more boring in my opinion. Now onto the scales of conviction. Now this is used when your party is divided on what to do, but the scales of conviction is really top tier in this game, so whatever the scale says or whatever anyone votes, that's what you do. Now there is a place where you could upgrade your weapons and your units, and it's called the encampment. And yeah, there's a lot of side characters to hang out, but they're boring, so you don't want to. But the good thing about the encampment is you get to do mock battles. So now mock battles are basically if your units are lower leveled or you just want to catch some freedom from the board story, the encampment is for you. All in all, the game did not turn out how I expected it. I wasn't having too high of expectations, but Octopath Traveler and Bravely Default, I was expecting more. Now the music is very, very good, but like I said, the story and the gameplay kind of bogs it, and yeah, I really was disappointed by Triangle Strategy. It had a lot of problems in my eye, especially the story, because god damn it, I wanted to love the story, but I just couldn't. Didn't really grab me. And it's weird because I love story in video games. I'm not like, oh, gameplay only kind of girl. No, that's like the opposite. But when your story is boring and you're writing off the story, that's kind of a problem. This isn't a visual novel though. There is gameplay and it's a tactical RPG, but the story does take the lead. Now, is this game worth the buy? No, it's not, in my opinion. Like, it hurts me when I say it because I was looking so forward to this game, but playing it, I don't see it. It's definitely not $60, so if you are gonna buy it, get it on sale. Now, if you do like the game, enjoying it, then by all means, grab the game. But for me, it's not worth the buy. and that's sad to say. Alright, so that was it for today's video. If you liked it, hit that like button and tell me in the comments down below, what did you think about Triangle Strategy? Did you pick it up? Did you not? Are you playing it? And what are your thoughts? You can reach me on my Twitter at Mandyleeplays. And with all that being said, I hope you guys have a great day. And as always, play a good game. Peace, peace.